Welcome everyone. This is AfridaNews.
And today we are going to talk about news around us today. I am Ohini Pepichresika.
And I am the owner Elita.
So the news around us today is the computerized school selection placement system. Now there has been back and forth about this whole issue, about issues concerning its transparency and then its effectiveness. So Elita, I asked you, what do you think about the computerized school selection placement system?
So the computerized selection system was basically, from my point of view, brought in because it wanted to make people who were able to access the schools they have chosen for their senior high school education easier. So anyone with a phone, anyone with a mobile device that has access to the internet connection can very easily log on and then see where they have been placed by the GES.
Okay, I also think that the computerized school selection placement system was brought up, to, just like you said, because we are in a global village and almost everyone has access to the internet and then mobile devices. You can, it's easy for you to get access to information concerning the senior high schools to choose and all that. But then another purpose of this, the computerized school selection placement system, is to improve and enhance efficiency in the school transition process, like you said, and then increase transparency, fairness, and cost effectiveness. The computerized school selection placement system was introduced in 2005. Now, before then, everything was done manually. Like you said, you have to go to IEC and all that. So, to deliver on its purpose, saying that it increases transparency, I have a problem with that, because if there is transparency, then why is there issues surrounding it? With there's a trending video of a lady who said she had aggregate 30, but her colleagues had 35, and her schools, why she didn't.
Well, I think the main factor is the transparency, because even if with the manual that people were still having issues. So if those issues weren't dealt with and you just migrated from a manual option to an online option, don't you think that those issues will still stick their heads out, maybe one here, one there? Because if someone is actually having aggregate 30 and is getting a school, or someone has aggregate 35 and is getting a school, and someone with 40 is getting a school, then I don't think it's with the system, but with the people. Because with the manual thing too, there are also issues like this, that, okay, I'm not getting placement and a lot of things. So I don't exactly think, maybe it might be the system, but it doesn't have to take all the blame for everything. Well, or what do you think?
I think it surely has to do with the system, because when you critically look at it, now when the computerized school selection placement system was introduced, the criteria for qualification was that the 4 core subjects, which is the English, Maths, Science, and Social Studies, a student should not get the grade. Okay, the grade should not exceed 5. That is for the 4 core subjects. And then with the 2 added electives, making 6, which is used for the qualification, the grade for each should not exceed 6. And then above all, when these 6 subjects are added, the grade mark for the addition should not exceed 30. So, if it is indeed transparent, as they say it is, then how come someone with a grade 35 is getting a school placement, but someone with 30 isn't?
Like I still stand with my point that it's not entirely the system. Because
then what is it?
Even with the manual, the people in, what do you call it? What makes you think that even with the manual, people with 35 and everything weren't getting schools back then?
Well, obviously they were, okay. But then the thing is, with the manual, things were done, like you said, you have to go to the office, do this and do that and do that. So that was also another system. Okay, that is also another system. So the computerized school selection placement is also another system. So my problem is with the system itself, because it's not really fair. Imagine you having aggregate 30 and then not being like you didn't get placement, but then someone with 35. I mean, how will you feel?
Oh, I would feel very bad.
Yes.
But if during the manual they were supposed to be, because WAEC obviously stands for transparency with your results and with your school placements. So with the manual, they still had that value that they stood for with transparency. And yet still, people were with results below the mark were getting schools. And then you just shift to a new system of online.
Okay, so to you, yeah, are you trying to say that they just changed the name but not the process? Is that what you're trying to say?
They changed the name. They didn't attack the issue. They just changed the thinking that it will go off with time.
Okay. Stay tuned. This is Afrida News. We'll be right back. Hello everyone, welcome back to our discussion on computerized school selection placement system. Moving on, so Ellie, another purpose of the computerized school selection placement system is to increase access and participation. But then, according to statistics, the students who have been automatically placed in schools for the 2022 BEC were 372,782. That is 69.24% of the people who sat for the exams. And then the students that could not be matched or that could not be automatically placed in schools are 165,619. That is 30.76%. So, delivering on the purpose of the mandate or purpose of the school placement system to increase access and participation, I don't believe this is actually matching it, because we have more than just a little bit more than 30% not getting access to not being placed in schools. What do you have to say on that?
Well, I agree with you that their aim of introducing the computerized system was basically to cut down a lot of these things. But the person's examination results, how do I say it?
Wasn't good, the grades or what?
Yeah, so if the person's examination results isn't part of the criteria for placement, you shouldn't really blame the system for not putting you in there, because the system is there to do what it's supposed to do. It has, okay, this person, you place them in schools, this person, maybe the person didn't write, or maybe the person, one of the core subjects didn't go well for the person.
Those are the difference. You see, there are people who qualify and those who qualify, but some get schools and some don't. Okay, so the students who sat for the 2022 BEC, like I said earlier, 547,329 people. The total that qualified for the school placement was 538,399, meaning 8,930 students didn't qualify. Now, these students are the ones you can say that some didn't write some of the exams, some got sick, some did this and that. But then the 30% are those who qualified, but yet still did not automatically get any school.
Yeah, so even if they were supposed to automatically get schools, who is in charge of the systems? Who is the one that, yes, it's supposed to be automatic, but obviously
Yes.
there's someone on standby who, at the end of the whole school, puts in the information and then the machine does the placement. So who exactly is in charge of putting in the information? Because if the information is not put in well, the person will not get the school. If the person doesn't get the school, then we'll continue having issues like this.
So, just like you said,
I still stand with the fact that it's the people, not the system.
but the purpose is to increase access. So if you are increasing access and then your systems, the system you are putting in place is not, making sure of what, like, it's not up to date and all that. Just like you say, someone inputting wrong details and all that. Okay, so if you are increasing access, shouldn't you take care of all these things, which is still the system, before all these things are
I beg to
implemented.
differ. Yes, shouldn't you take care of all these things? Who created a system? A person. Who manages the system? A person. Who puts in the information? A person. So if that person is not on the same wavelength as the value that WAEC holds, what makes you think that the person will actually follow with integrity to put in what is right so that people won't come out with problems like this?
So it is the system.
It's the person.
Okay. Now there has also been the issue of people taking money for school placements. It's like, oh, my ward didn't get placed in any school. So can you do normally call what connection? Can you do the connection for me and all that? Well, about this issue, I think that it's about time we stop some of these things. You see, because once some of these things continue, we are depriving students who genuinely qualified, students who have worked hard and done everything. Because that's some people are still saying that we had 6 A's, we had this, but then we didn't get our first choice. We ended up having this. The protocol and the connections go behind and then cover all these spaces, leaving nothing for students who genuinely qualify. What do you also have to say about this?
Well, I don't think this thing started today.
Yes.
It's been there for quite some time. And so, if with the manual we had this issue where people could pay and get their award system changed, what makes you think that even with an automatic system, there'll be this drastic change of people, of this drastic change of honesty all of a sudden? Like, if you do not attack that issue when it was in paper, what makes you think that it will change paperless? So yes, people can actually pay others to change their results for them. People actually pay others to help their wards get into schools.
Yes.
So from my point of view, it all boils down to the person.
Well, another bright side on this is that with this year, about 36,000 students have been placed in TVET institutions. Okay, and I think that is a good thing, because looking back, I mean, how many students, how many children, how many people would have said, oh, I wanted to go into vocational training institutes and all that. But then this year alone, 36,000 students have been placed there, and I believe for anything at all, this is good.
Yeah, well, now we don't live in the olden time where everybody's mind is, I want my child to do a white collar job. People are actually broadened in their mindset that, yes, my child can make a living from learning something technical or vocational. So as we keep breaking down that wall, there are lots of more people who continue going to the vocational schools and doing all the courses that would benefit them instead of what their parents would like on the other hand.
Okay.
Stay tuned. This is Afrida News. Welcome back to our segment on the automatic computerized school replacement system. As we were discussing, we spoke about how previously students had to go to their various schools of choices, checking lists to see if their names were in them before they knew the schools they were placed, which was quite a hassle. But now with this system, work was supposed to be made easier. So, Ohene,
Yeah.
you mentioned something about the self-selection system. Can you give me more information on that?
Okay, so with the self-placement, self-placement, which is called, but I think for the purpose of our discussion, we should make it clear that it's gearing towards self selection, because with the when you say self-placement, it means automatically you've been placed there. As soon as you do what is needed, you are placed there, but which isn't so, because once you still input your details into the online for all that, and then you have to sit and then wait for some time to see if you are being selected, not placed. Okay, so the uh, self placement, as I said, self selection is for the 165,619 qualified students who didn't get access, who didn't get any school. Okay, so the whole self selection process is to provide these students with the opportunity to go online and then through the WAEC portal, online portals, you find any school that is close to you that you like, and then you just apply, more like application, just apply for it. And then I think after a period of 30 days, if you don't get any feedback, you have to apply again. But then that is the downside to it. So what if I keep on applying and applying and then I'm not getting any feedback? My colleagues are in school, but then I'm at home. And then another downside to it is that what if I had aggregate 30, okay, and then the only school around me is a grade A school. What are my chances? Okay, so yeah, so that is a self placement that is happening.
Well, I think that with this computerized system, if we were supposed to, let's just create this scenario where the computerized system, instead of it giving you your um the schools that you choose schools, and then it gives you what your results are with. What if the students were to apply to the schools themselves? That the self-selection was the new standard, and that you have to apply to the school, and based on your result, the school picks you and the school doesn't.
Well, Alita, I won't lie, that is a great idea. But then look at it. Who doesn't like a good thing? Do you know the number of people who are going to apply for, one of these grade A schools?
I mean, look at your results and know what will come
No,
to
so
you.
okay, so based on what you're saying, the results will come before you apply.
Results always come before you apply.
No, you always select the schools.
Yeah, you select the schools, then your
Yes.
results come out.
Yes.
And then based on your results, that is what they'll use to give you the school.
No, but that is what is already happening.
Yes, so now this way, based on your results, then
You have to
apply for the school. Because,
again.
because everybody has this school in mind that they want.
Yes.
Maybe I want to go to Wesley Girls, I want to go to Krapiman. But then with your results showing you aggregate 30, obviously your mind will tell you that let me sit down and structure everything.
Well, you see, when we decide to put it like that, that zeal, that passion for education among the youth, among the young ones, especially the ones who are finished, is going to be lost.
How?
Listen, I've heard a story where a guy, a male, yes, let me call him, one boy, finished BEC, just this recent one, the 2022 one. He finished, and then as soon as he finished, he just came back home. That Friday, came back home and told us that he wants to go and learn job. He wants to get a job doing. And the dad was so surprised. And then he was like, all we've ever done is giving you, the best we can for your education and all that. So why the sudden, so the guy forced the dad, and the dad sent him to, to be a mechanic, apprentice mechanic, yes. So before the result came, at least he had like 3 to 4 months work experience. The dad went to check his result, and he had 9, everything. Listen, so such a person, he knew from the concept that there was no way he was going to do well. So as soon as he finished, he found his backup plan. And then he's telling his dad that the future, he's going to be a mechanic. Future is tree, that's how I say mechanic. He's going to be a mechanic for the rest of his life. The dad shouldn't worry. He's going to make him proud.
But your statement about because a student has to apply for the school, the student won't learn hard. I beg to differ, because if I am being placed by a school and every single year I see that someone with aggregate 40 is getting Wesley Girls, and me with 6, I'm going to some place that wasn't even part of my list, I have to go to maybe a headmistress and tell her that, oh, I wasn't placed in
Exactly.
it. That is what would rather discourage me from learning hard, because I know even if I get a 25, I'll be placed somewhere that I like.
No, you're not getting my point. I'm saying
Because,
that
see,
after the results, come, and then I see myself, I have aggregate 40. What do you think I'm going to? Obviously, I'm going to carpentry or something.
you were the one who said everybody likes good things.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
So if you
what-
look at the 40 and you had the opportunity to apply to a school by yourself, let's say this self-selection thing was the new
let me tell
thing.
you. Let me tell you. If you had aggregate 40 and then somehow, I'm gonna say somehow you get admitted into a grade A school, down deep you know that no, this shouldn't be. You will know for a fact. You will know that this shouldn't be. Right? You will know.
I mean, the school.
You will know.
Well, all of it basically, if things were properly structured,
Yeah.
if the people who had maybe computerized or put together this particular system were standing by their values and their integrity, I think a lot of people would have a lot of these things wouldn't be happening.
Yes.
So, like, if this continues, a lot of children will be discouraged from picking their schools of their
Oh,
choice
yes,
because
obviously.
they know, oh, I'll be disappointed
Anyway.
to go somewhere else that I wasn't even placed. Because I know a lot of my friends, their first two schools, they know them. I know that, let's say my first school was Wesley Girls, second school, Aggie Memorial. The other three schools, they let their teachers choose for them.
Why?
Because they know in their hearts of hearts that, oh, I am going to get one of the first two schools that I have chosen.
see-
and then this problem comes.
What
and
if
I
there's
am
this
thrown
grade A
into
schools?
one of the three schools my teacher chose for me that I didn't know.
Exactly. Because they are highly competitive. They are highly see, not for a fact though, but maybe when you look at it, for the lady who had aggregate 30 and said she didn't get school, but somehow with 35 had schools. When you look at it, she probably chose only grade A schools throughout. You get it? And then you get aggregate 30. How do you expect to replace it? Unless it's a miracle. You won't be. You won't be. You won't be. I'm just saying.
Well, I think there should be proper scrutiny from the bottom. From the moment the child is choosing their school, the teacher should make sure that this child has chosen according to the instructions given. One grade A school, a second,
Exactly,
and then
you
the
choose.
rest
And then
will
some-
be your. So if the child is able to follow that, and then according to the system, WAEC stands by what they say that this system is supposed to be transparent. This system is supposed to solve majority of the issues we had during the manual. And from there, the child gets the school that they have in place, or based on their results, they get the school that have been given to them and they are happy with it. Then a lot of these problems won't be happening. I won't have to pay someone to put my child in a school because she's crying at home that all her friends are going to school, and they'll come back from midterms and they'll ask you, oh, which school did you get? Which school did you get?
Yeah, that conversation was always awkward. But although, yes, I agree that some of these errors, they are, they could be human, some could be technical.
Majority of the errors are human based.
Yes, but then most of them can be avoided. Most of them can be avoided. Is it for how long are we going to, is this going to continue? And then sometimes I also have issues with parents. Parents sometimes think that, most parents sometimes think that, oh, I know my word, I know my boy, I know my girl. This is the school he's supposed to go to.
Oh, you don't know me.
You get to you get to your child's school, and then the teachers are telling you that, madam, sir, your child, we are the people who teach your child. This is what he's good at. This is what he does. Oh, he can do this. She can do that. This and this and that. Maybe sit down and then come to reason with the teachers, and then help select the best school for your child. So no, that's my child. This is where I went to. So
But sometimes
you also go there.
the teachers can be very unfair.
Oh
Because
yes,
me,
that's why I
back,
said
back
sit
in
and then
G-
just reason
back
with
in
them.
JHS, you see JHS, you do all the courses and
Yeah.
everything. So then my mom came to come and sit in front of the teacher and asked her that what will he like ask for me to do. And then this teacher legit looked at my mother and told her that your daughter cannot do math. Your daughter.
Could you?
At that time,
Could you?
give me time.
Oh, come on.
At that
Could-
time, my
no.
math was a little bit shaky, but
A
that doesn't mean
little.
you should have lost hope in me from the
No.
onset.
Is it
Because
sometimes
I went to SCS and I did science and I did well.
okay? No, I mean there is that.
So miracles will happen.
But that wasn't a miracle. I bet you when you went to SS, you sat down and then you kept in the work day in and day out, and then your results came out, right? Yes, But the other thing is, moving forward. Like I've said, moving forward, things like this shouldn't happen. The introduction of this was to make the whole thing easier
Easier.
and faster. So parents have and their wives having to go to NAT office, another wahala, school placement, this and it's just too much. I mean, it's really just too much.
There should be someone who can be held accountable for all of these things that are going on. If WAEC has chosen that they are going to stand by this computerized system, then they should make sure that it is foolproof.
Yes.
Because I can't have someone who will pay money to someone to get maybe my position in the school, and then I'll be pushed out because the school does not have enough facilities to contain me. So if the government wants to stand by the computerized system, there must be measures put in place, there must security measures put in place, there must be a structured thing that they are going to stand by, and that no matter what, someone cannot pay another person to enter a school of their choice, while someone who has studied and gone through the right process will be thrown out.
Okay, so that will be the end of the discussion. Thank you, everyone. Let us know what you also think in the comment section below. Stay safe. This is Afrida News.